Welcome! In today's explainer, we're going to talk about the single most powerful tool you have. Seriously, it's something that can completely reshape your entire financial reality. We're talking about your mind.
So let's just jump right in with a question that people have asked for, well, centuries. Why is it that some people just seem to be magnets for wealth and opportunity, while other people, no matter how hard they seem to work, just push it away?
You know, the answer isn't found in their job or their luck or what's in their bank account right now. It's found right here, in their mind. And over the next few minutes, we're going to give you the blueprint.
Okay, let's start with a big idea here. There's an invisible battlefield inside you. And this is where your financial destiny is actually decided, long before you ever see it in the real world.
We're calling this the silent war. It's this daily clash between what you consciously want, more money, financial freedom, and what your subconscious mind has been programmed to believe. And a lot of times, that's ideas of scarcity and limitation that you don't even know are there.
And look, this isn't some new age, fluffy idea. We're talking about the father of modern psychology, William James. He said it best more than 100 years ago. He called it the greatest discovery of his time, that we can literally change our lives just by changing our attitudes.
So if you're going to win this war, you have to understand the two key players on the field. The best way to think of them is as the gatekeeper and the engine.
So let's break this down. Your conscious mind, that's the gatekeeper. It's the part of you that thinks, that analyzes, that makes choices. It can accept or reject any idea. It's like your personal security guard. But then you have the subconscious mind, and that's the engine. It doesn't judge, it doesn't reason, it just acts. It takes whatever orders the gatekeeper lets through, and it works 24/7 to make that your reality.
Joseph Murphy, who was a real pioneer in this stuff, he just nailed it. Your subconscious engine doesn't argue with you. It just accepts whatever your conscious gatekeeper believes to be true. And understanding this dynamic, well, it's everything.
Okay, so you might be thinking, well, if it's that simple, why doesn't just thinking positive work for everybody? Great question. The answer lies in these invisible traps that can completely sabotage our best efforts.
Here are 4 of the biggest ones. First up, mental contradiction. You say, I am wealthy, but your whole body is screaming, no, you're broke. Second, identifying with your reality. You let that empty bank account define how you feel all day. Then there's emotional contamination, just soaking up all the fear and doubt from the news, or maybe even your friends. And finally, impatience, giving up right before the seed you planted has a chance to sprout. Any of those sound familiar?
And this brings us to the most crucial point of all. Your subconscious mind, it doesn't speak English, it doesn't speak Spanish or Mandarin, it speaks the language of emotion. You can repeat words all day long, but if you feel lack, then lack is the command that it receives. Emotion, that's the bridge between your two minds.
All right, that's enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. How do you actually build a new mental blueprint for wealth? Well, here is a really practical framework.
Think of this 7-step process as your guide. First, you have to get a crystal clear mental picture of what you actually want. Second, you have to protect your conscious mind like a fortress. Guard what you're letting in. Third, you practice daily visualization, mentally rehearsing your success. Fourth is the powerhouse. You use repetition and emotion to really impress the idea on your subconscious. Fifth, cultivate gratitude. That shifts your entire energy to abundance. Sixth, you learn to listen for and take inspired action. And finally, number 7, and this is the big one, you have to persist until this new belief just becomes who you are.
And these ideas aren't some fad that someone just came up with. They represent a whole legacy of wisdom. You can see this timeline shows a direct line of thinking passed down through generations of what you might call mind masters, from psychologists like William James back in the 1800s, all the way to modern teachers like Bob Proctor. Every single one of them, in their own way, landed on the same fundamental truths.
Which brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful shift in perspective. This is about moving from chasing wealth to becoming it.
Here it is, the ultimate shift. Wealth isn't something you get, it's a state of being that you embody. It's an inner frequency that you tune yourself to. And when you can embody the feeling of abundance, the physical stuff, it just has to follow.
You want to know how timeless this idea is? Over 2,000 years ago, the Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote this down. He knew that our whole experience of life, our happiness, our prosperity,
It's just a direct reflection of our inner world, of the quality of our thoughts.
Let that one sink in for a second. Your outer world is just a mirror, reflecting your inner state back at you. So stop trying to change the reflection in the mirror. Change the state that's creating the reflection. And the mirror, well, it has no choice but to show you something new.
You know, Napoleon Hill spent decades studying the most successful people in the world, and he really summarized our entire explainer with this one perfect quote. If your minds can create it, if it can conceive it, and then you impress that idea with faith, if you can believe it, then you set into motion all the forces needed to achieve it.
So, that leaves us with one last really powerful question. Knowing that your mind is the architect and your thoughts are the blueprint, what reality are you going to choose to start creating today?